Un niño juega con rampas de madera unidas a un tablero perforado. Título: Tinkering y conexiones de Steam Starters. En pantalla, Ehuama Ehukamera, administradora del centro Trans Bay Child Development Center. La oradora se sienta adentro.
When tinkering, children have an opportunity to engage in meaningful STEAM learning. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Un niño apila objetos translúcidos. Otro niño ilumina una linterna sobre una bola de espejos. Otros niños juegan con figuritas de animales mientras un maestro sostiene una linterna para hacer formas sobre una pantalla.
As children tinker with materials, they make sense of the physical world. Their playful and inventive experimentation leads them to wonder how and why things work. They come up with their own questions, develop theories, and test them out. By making tinkering open-ended and focused on a specific phenomenon, we create opportunities for children to grow important STEAM-related concepts and skills.
En pantalla, Ryan Kurata, maestro de transición preescolar y capacitador de instrucción de STEAM, Sonoma County Office of Education. El orador está sentado en el pasillo de un entorno de educación en la primera infancia.
As students leave the preschool realm into the kindergarten and the elementary, there is a deep sense of we need to focus on the basics, the reading, the writing, and the math. And as we know, lovers of tinkering, it's exploring direct scientific phenomena and relationships and all of that. And I think we need to leverage that in education. But I also think there is a true fear from educators to really grapple with scientific ideas themselves and let their students grapple with it in their classroom.
En pantalla, Ehuama Ehukamera, con títulos gráficos, formas de pensar, prácticas, conceptos.
Through tinkering experiences, children have an important opportunity to develop positive mindsets, engage in STEAM practices, and learn key concepts related to STEAM through their tinkering.
Gráfico en pantalla, formas de pensar de STEAM.
Tinkering encourages a positive approach to learning. It supports child-driven inquiry and the development of curiosity, persistence, and motivation to learn.
Los niños juegan adentro haciendo rodar una pelota por una rampa de cartón.
Tinkering invites children to embrace experimentation and flexibility in thinking and encourages them to value others' perspectives and input.
En pantalla, Melissa McLeod, proveedora de cuidado infantil en el hogar, Quartz Valley Indian Reservation. Mientras habla, los niños juegan con luces y sombras, tanto en el interior como en el exterior.
They've discovered their shadows. That has been a big one for them. And they've discovered that, so they'll talk about it, and they'll talk about it to each other. I'll overhear them, and they'll be walking around wait, do you see a shadow? Where's your shadow at? Or is there enough light outside for us to have a shadow right now?
Gráfico en pantalla, prácticas de STEAM, seguido por niños haciendo rodar carretes de cinta circular por una rampa de madera, luego haciendo rodar los mismos carretes sobre limas de uñas esparcidas sobre la rampa.
Tinkering activities give children an opportunity to engage in STEAM practices. For example, as children tinker with objects, they explore materials and make observations.
En pantalla, Jennifer Hawkins, maestra de anclaje de preescolar, Yerba Buena Gardens Child Development Center. La oradora se sienta en un salón de primera infancia y también juega con dos niños mientras construyen estructuras y ensartan luces. También observa a dos niños que juegan afuera con rampas de plástico.
I think it's important that STEAM topics in particular are part of the focus. First of all, a lot of children don't always get exposure to that. Some children may have rich environments where they encounter a lot of that, and other kids might not. Some children may, do a lot of things with their parents and have these experiences, and other kids might not. So I think it's really important that we're focusing on those. The kinds of things that children learn when exploring these science topics, they apply to everything in life, all these phenomena. Children are natural, like they're just learning machines. So I think it's extremely important that we're providing lots of opportunities for facilitated exploration of science and technology, engineering, and art, and math.
Título: Conceptos de STEAM. En pantalla, Flor de Lisa Mojica, maestra de anclaje de niños, Transbay Child Development Center. La oradora se sienta en un salón de primera infancia.
Today I noticed Maya gets so curious about using the flashlight. She tries to navigate it like upwards, downwards to check, investigate the size of the shadow projecting on the floor.
Un niño sostiene una linterna en varias posiciones para ver cómo cambia la luz proyectada en el suelo.
I've noticed she gets curious about the size of the shadow image and trying to investigate the distance. The outcome is it gets bigger and smaller. So it's a new concept for her.
They may begin to understand an idea or phenomenon by noticing certain behaviors.
Varias escenas de niños dibujando, planificando y documentando en papel.
They predict what will occur, test out ideas, and interpret results. Children also document, share, and reflect on their learning. Sharing their thinking creates opportunities for children to develop their theories and urges them to act in ways that are relevant and meaningful to their investigations. STEAM mindsets, practices, and conceptual understanding are all important in tinkering. Supporting learning in each of these areas promotes children's holistic growth of STEAM learning.